think, yeah, we are live.
Okay, hello and welcome to round 5 of F1. We're here for the Dutch Grand Prix. I've got my co-commentator and teammate from F2 last night, teammate T-Hawk alongside me. How you doing, T-Hawk?
Good evening.
And we'll be taking you through the action for the next 1.5 hours of F1. Now, all the drivers you can ready up, we're all sorted after a little bit of delays with the stream. Sorry about that.
Yeah. Already bitching around because of it, but it's 5 minutes.
Yes. Everything seems to be running well. Just to put into perspective what a good time would be around here, a pole last year by Phantom, last season, was a 108.194, so it'll be interesting to see if the drivers can set technically a new FRL record round here. I'm sure we'll see a couple of drivers dip into 107s. T-Hawk, do you want to make a prediction if how many drivers will make it into the 7s? Just another prediction to add on.
I mean, if we have a wet qualifying, that would be a bit nasty, but if we assume that we're gonna have a dry qualifying, I'd say maybe 3 drivers into the 7s.
Last race, it was, of course, Denzo who got pole in China, but Rocco, it was a wet race, as it's wet here as well, actually. So, we're not sure what it's going to be like in the race, but that definitely spices it up.
Oh, I don't think we will see anyone in the 7s.
Yeah, definitely, unless it dries up very fast near the end.
Who knows? I doubt it.
The good indicator to see whether the track will be getting drier or will be getting wetter is if the drivers bolt out now, but it's been a while now, so I imagine it's getting drier probably the session, otherwise they'd be bolting out for a fast lap like an F2 last night.
Or maybe they are just changing the setup quickly to a wet setup if the race is also wet. Would be nice if someone could tell us in the comments.
Well, it'd be nice to get surprised for the race, but
that's true.
as I think that's
coming out. That's
Rocco maybe.
No, the racing point of Rocco. Yeah. So Rocco's drive on the softs. Okay.
So I think because Rocco's gone out this early and no one else has, I'm pretty sure it's going to be getting drier as the session goes on. That'd be my thought. If no one else
maybe he's just mad.
Doing it too fast. Yeah, he must be a robot to be going this quick if it is getting wetter in the session.
So you also have Zero coming out
on the mediums, so I think it will be getting dry.
Yeah.
Do you want to do your predictions or for your top 3 in
qualifying? Yeah, sure. Predictions. So if you assume that it is gonna dry up, when I go back to saying that we have 3 guys in the 7s, those guys will be Name Changer, Rocco, and Jensen in any order.
Okay. Before Rocco starts his lap, I think I'll back Denzo for another pole, twice in a row. I think the Mercedes of Name Changer will get second, and I'll say Rocco as well for third. And do you want to take us through a lap?
Sure. So Rocco approaching the bank turn 1, that's the Tarzan bocht, or Tarzan curve, I suppose it's in English, then turns 2 and 3, the Gerlach bocht, down to the heavy camber of the Rupenhaus bocht, and now up the fast left-right section, very difficult in those conditions, through Hunsrück and Rob Slaughtermarker bocht, then down the fast right-hander of turn 8, that's Scheivlak, and the left kink and then the right kink of Marlboro bocht and down to Renault bocht. Left front will be overheating at this point, but in those conditions it should be quite cool through the long left-hander of the Vodafone bocht.
Out yes now, yeah.
Good on the throttle. Yeah, is activated. Now into the Audi S. Good land through there. Doesn't seem to be too slippery. The second to last corner, the Kumo Bocht.
The sevens have gone now.
The Bocht.
It's definitely going to be slower than last night so far with a 14.5. Next across the line is Bullboy?
I think it might be Zavo. Yeah, Zavo, who's on the lap right now.
Oh, Bullboy spins down into turn 1 out the Tarzan booked. But Zero's going to be finishing his lap. That's going to put him
not too far off.
1.5 seconds off Rocco.
That's decent, considering that the medium should struggle a lot more.
And Sparkling.
Difficult to get up. Sparkling almost 9 tenths behind. Denso.
Yeah.
So what can you do? Your pick for pole. It's looking good.
Ooh.
Up by a tenth on Rocco.
And Rocco's no pushover in quali. He's actually taken pole in Bahrain before, so that's a quite respectable time by him. Ooh, name changer retires. That was at the last corner. So if we go on board with
Jensen,
I'm a bit slow here.
Yeah.
Oh, you can see there, he's just totally lost it. It's easy to do that in these conditions where you're deceived that it is flat out, but it's very difficult to go flat out through there.
Jensen P3, so the Finnish Mercedes driver bottles it. That's uncommon.
His teammate is across the line. There's Jensen. Oh no.
Jensen's already in P3.
Zero,
time
I think.
Across. Zero. I think Zero didn't improve. Time though is in P4, only half a second off. Little Bookie coming across the line too.
What can he do? He's 14th at the moment. It doesn't
season could be
seem...
P5.
6? Only 4 tenths off Sparkling, who's also very fast in quali. So that's a good lap by him. And isn't that a Ferrari?
Yeah, the Ferrari of Peter Wall still on the lap.
They've now cleared up the debris.
Let out.
Yep.
5th. Both Ferraris are very strong.
Ooh, I think that's Bullboy. Bullboy must have had a moment there in the middle sector. Oh, maybe he's run out of fuel. I'm gonna have a guess. Oh, maybe he's starting his lap? Can't be sure.
No, I think he's out. Yeah, he's out.
Yeah.
We still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys without a lap time and name changer, of course, crashed.
Well, I think Denzo was in the middle to set a lap in terms of the order out of the top 9. And he went fastest, and obviously Rocco did a lap before him, but so possibly the conditions might be getting faster. Maybe the track is getting drier, considering there are 5 drivers who haven't set a lap, so maybe they're saving it right at the end to do the fastest lap possible.
That could very well be, as Rocco is the first one to head out on track again. So seemingly they want to get in a lot of soft times right now. I know, maybe because it didn't stop raining yet, maybe it's just gonna get worse, and they want to get in their lap times as early as possible.
Well, it's going to be definitely an interesting quali to see if it does get faster. Because if it doesn't, it is going to be Denzo who takes pole for the second successive week. But definitely a lot of room for improvement for all of them, I imagine.
Definitely. And if it does get faster, we have to watch out who's going to be the last guy across the line, because he will probably have the best conditions.
It's all timing.
It's still raining, so it's good.
I think definitely in the rain it does favour the controller with the better traction, so as shown with Denzo and Rocco being first and second, so I think maybe Petty might be up there maybe in 5th, but those who haven't settled up, most of them are fairly fast drivers. I'd expect Unseen to be right up there in the order, as well as Barrett, as Rocco on his outlap.
Ooh.
Spins.
Big spin, and he's into the pits. I think he has some damage too. His right wing and brake. They're still very slippery out on track. I think in order to dry up, it would have to stop raining in the next 1 or 2 minutes. They will still on the mediums.
I think it... Ties is coming through the corner of Hugenholzbocht, if I pronounce that right, and it seems to be starting to clear up now. I don't... Oh, there's a couple of specks of rain on the camera, but that might signal it's starting to clear up now. So we can see here now if Ties hopefully doesn't spin, if he is gonna go purple. No, it doesn't say what he's up or down compared to Denso, but Ties is definitely going to be gunning for it. Oh, he gets a little bit out of shape there through the corner of Vodafone Bock.
He's up by 5/10 on Denso in the first sector.
Is that Bullboy ahead of him? Yeah.
Getting faster, and I think it stopped raining now actually.
Yeah, so Ties, if you put 2 and 2 together, he should be maybe around 4th or 5th. I mean, it would be fastest, but Denso and Rocco's times are very fast. Oh, is he gonna be pole?
It is.
It is.
Yeah, look at that. Truck's getting so much better now.
I would say dips into the 12s, but if we say that all the time, we're going to be saying dips into the 11s and 10s and 9s, because I think it's going to definitely get a lot faster. We'll be seeing drivers definitely go exactly probably 5 seconds faster if it does get up to optimal conditions.
Yeah, especially with all those drivers being out, meaning with the track gets covered in even quicker.
Zero, he's on... Am I wrong in saying 5 lap old mediums? Interesting strategy.
Bullboy was 3 tenths faster than Ties in the first sector.
Bullboy, so Bullboy's on a run for pole. I think this is going to be...
how fast he is.
Someone's going to have to screenshot this if it does happen. I hope it does. Bullboy 57, he's going to come through now. The last corner, which is Bocht, if I pronounce that right. Through the banking. I think this is going to be pole from Bullboy. It's 9, 10, 11.
11. Yes, it is.
It's pole by Bullboy. Oh, Ties snatches it away. Bullboy was on pole there for 1 second or so, but Ties snatches pole away straight away. I think these guys will want to be pitting right at the end now, because if they stay out any longer, they might not have time for a fresh pair of softs. But as Pelly go second, so it's now whoever crosses the line next is probably going to get pole. Hoodie's on an out lap. Jensen?
Sparkling is currently on a lap, I think. Yeah, Sparkling, so he should be going pole now.
We'll see through the sector split. 4 seconds up. He's definitely going to be making up a lot of time as well in this last sector.
Yeah.
The Red Bull currently sitting the first in the standings. He's got 4 podiums so far. Where's he going to end up? Is it going to be pole? It looks like it. It's a 9-1 once again.
1.2 seconds.
We're going to have a lot of changes. That is pretty fast. Oh, Pelly collides with Hiddy, and that's a 5-place grid penalty. That's unfortunate for the Dutch driver at his home Grand Prix. I think he's getting out of the way of Jensen, who's now going through Vodafone Bocht, and he's now going to be going into the 3rd sector. What's his split? 4.5 seconds up as well. This is going to be pole as well, I imagine.
Yeah.
Conditions are almost at their optimum. We should be seeing the
some slight spots of dampness around the track now.
Yeah, flat out last corner should be easy. He runs out of VRS, but is it going to be pole? Of course it is. It's an 8.4, very strong from Jensen in the Alfa Romeo. Who's the next across the line? That might be Pelly, pits. There's a Williams of unseen. Starts the lap.
I think it's Peter Wall. Oh no, it's Tyne.
Where's he gonna go? Oh, he's second.
P2.
Yeah, the track seems to be ramping up as Rocco does an 8.2. Do you think that'll be pole? Rocco?
I
mean,
don't think so. I still expect Rocco and Jensen to be in the 107s.
Do you think he has enough time to do an in-lap and the out-lap and get in time for the flying lap?
Yeah, plenty of time. I mean, it is a very short lap, so they should be able to do it. As who's that? I think
Hiddy.
someone was starting to. Ah, yeah, Hiddy.
I think Hiddy had a collision with Pelly earlier on, which is why Pelly got a 5-place grid penalty, so that'll drop him down into 13th with only 15 guys in this quali session. But Hiddy is going to be 3rd. Very strong.
Very good job from him. The Dutch driver.
He's definitely got better as the season's gone on. He obviously got a podium in, I think that was Vietnam, 2nd place. So he's definitely a contender for another podium.
Unseen, 1.2 seconds off, very far off. Zavo still on the mediums, on 6 lap mediums. What is he doing?
Interesting tactics there.
Maybe it's ready for the race?
I think if it would be dry, because otherwise he wouldn't be going on these mediums, but maybe he's just memeing and he might box or softs right at the end, but I don't see why he'd do that, so. Interesting tactics from the other Finnish driver. Of course, the other sadly crashed out at the last corner. Is anyone on a lap?
Let's see.
Unseen and Hiddy aren't.
Denzo is.
Ah, Denzo. He was pole, obviously. I think about 5 minutes into the session, but he's now, him and his teammate are 13th and 14th. He's in an unlucky 13th, but hopefully he'll want to put that Renault right at the front. As the Alpine got released today as well, which was pretty nice car.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Ooh, first gear. Interesting choice. Where do you think T-Hawk this will be?
I think top 5 certainly, maybe even top 4. Yeah, I think top 4.
As Denzo's going to round off the corner.
Oh.
It's pole! Oh. He's only going to done it by 28 hundredths, or 28 thousandths I should say, over Rocco. And it's just like it was at the start. And now it's 2 minutes to go. I imagine all the drivers in the pits are going to be bolting out now.
I think we're going to wait. Let's see, it takes you about 30 seconds or so to leave the pits, and 110 to get around, so they might be leaving right now.
Yeah.
We have a lot of traffic, probably another Monza 2019 situation.
They're cutting it short, aren't they? Unless there's something we don't know, but there's Williams as an Alpha now, who's leaving the pits, it looks like, on a mini-map. There's Racing Point, yeah, I think they'll start to come out now, but Brookie's finishing his lap. 10th, made up a lot of time in that last sector, so that's good for him, but he's going to filter out into a lot of guys on their out laps. So who's going to be the first to complete their lap? This is a little bit crowded.
This is chaos. See, Jensen just started his lap.
Oh, he's going to have a lot of traffic, yeah. Come through the banking of Hugenholzbucht.
Also on the lap.
First sector, I should say.
I think we might have a glitch where we are 30 seconds
Sparkling, he's got traffic. Ooh, and he hits!
Oh.
Who's that? Is that... No, that has to be Brookie, isn't it? It's Brookie.
That's Brookie, yeah.
That's unfortunate. I think both Haas and the Renault were trying to get out of the way. Were you on board there, T-Hawk?
Nah, but I saw it on the minimap and I knew that Brookie was around there. Oh,
Jensen's not on a lap as well.
Then a bit tired in the pits.
If we see the checkered flag, there's not a timing glitch, but I'm... Ooh, is that someone spinning in the background? No, it's just a pile up, it seems as though, or roadblock. So, I imagine this isn't going to be the end of qualifying, as it is. I think we've got a time glitch here, as we quite often do. Sparkling's qualifying's over. That's poor from him. It's a bit unfortunate though with the Brookie incident. Jensen's going to be on his lap. Rocco's just behind, so This is going to be an interesting fight for pole. I think that's Berra as well. He's on a lap. Unseen's on a lap. Unseen's actually finishing off his lap, so we'll get an idea if the track can ramp up any more than it already is. But
Ballboy, I think, is even ahead of him. Coming to the final.
Ballboy, he improved.
Now.
So maybe Unseen will improve, though. It's in the 8s already. Strong lap from Unseen, 5th.
Very good.
I think he'll take that.
Next should be
Berra.
Berra.
2/10 off into the 3rd sector now. Uses 3rd gear for that corner, the Audi S. Rounding the last corner, what can the McLaren do? Is it going to be top 5?
He would have to make up a lot of time, but...
Ooh, it's 8th, he stays 8th, but he does improve. Who are we waiting on, isn't it? Rocco now. Rocco, is this going to be pole? It is going to be pole! An 8-1, he's not into the 7s, but Jensen's invalidated. And ties! What a result for ties, I think that has to be... And yeah, everyone's finished their laps, I would say ties there. Unless there's maybe rain in the race or something, but if it is dry in a race, that is a strong performance from ties, who sometimes qualifies quite near the back. But yeah. And so it's Rocco. Oh, Tio, do you want to do the 15 drivers who did quali?
Yeah, sure. So we got Rocco on pole with a 108.1, so nobody in the 7s, unfortunately. Denso just over a 10th behind him, followed by Jensen. Then Hiddy, the first Dutch driver. Then Thijs, Unseen, Tyne, Peter Wall, Sparking, and Berra in the top 10. Zevo in P11 on 6 lap old mediums. Don't think he would have wanted to start in the top 10 with those tires. Rookie P12, Ballboy P13, and Pelly, well, he will be at the back of the grid either way because of his 5-place grid penalty.
And I think it might have been you, was it, commentating in Australia when Name Changer won from, I think it was the back of the grid after crashing out, so...
Yeah.
Do you think he can do it again? Or do you want to wait for the tyres? Because it is dry, so... I guess we'll do our predictions once we've seen the tyres. 36 laps await the 15 drivers. Shame to only have 15, but still, I'm sure we'll get plenty of action. Hopefully as much as F2 last night. So, we'll see. Definitely going to be a shorter race as well.
Hopefully the pole sitter and the guy in 2nd place will have a better time than yesterday.
Yeah. And that's of course Denso and Rocco. In terms of the championship, if anyone's wondering who doesn't know in FRL or just watching, Sparkling at the moment leads the drivers. I don't have the points, but Jensen's in 2nd, Rocco's in 3rd in the driver standings. Name Changer starting last, who did not start last race with esports. He's in 4th. Hiddy in 5th, Denso in 6th, Tyne in 7th, Berra in 8th, Pettervol in 9th, Zero in 10th, Ballboy 11th, Unseen in 12th, Boastman in 13th, Shordeal in 14th, Pelly in 15th, Ties in 16th, Schwartzman in 17th, Felix in 18th, and Brookie in 19th, and Mads in 20th. I might have done that wrong because I'm not sure, but if I can count properly, I think I've done that correct.
Yeah, you should be correct. I got the list right in front of me. Also, it's a lot closer than in F2. Jensen only 6 points behind Sparkling.
Do you want to do the predictions now we know the tires? Because
yeah, sure.
Interesting.
Let's see. So last time, as you mentioned, when Name Changer started near the back of the grid, he won. It's quite difficult to overtake around here. But, I mean, so is Australia, so...
It's got a different strategy, though, you have to bear in mind.
Yeah, he's starting on the hards. The track could be a bit cold, though, so it's going to be difficult to get those hards up to temperature. I'm still going to say that Name Changer is going to win. Hiddy, P2. I think it would be a good result for the Dutch driver and his home track. And Sparkling, P3.
Interesting jostle up. I think I'll go with a little bit more of a risky one. I think I might go with Sparkling for the win. I think he'll maybe have a little bit of luck. I think Name Changer might come second, believe it or not, on the hards. I think he might make a different strategy work, and I think maybe Ties will get his first points of the season as well. He hasn't scored points yet, so wish him the best of luck. With the 36 laps awaiting, a lot can go wrong in 36 laps, as we've seen. 4.2 kilometers each lap is, I should say. And
36 laps, that's 36 laps of pure concentration needed in those cold conditions.
Do you want to take us through the race start?
Yeah, sure. As everybody's now on the grid. As we have 5 red lights and they are out and...
Revving at this, yeah. Haven't revved their engines yet. Well, now they have.
Oh, and that was rather quick, and we got a good start. Shocking camera angle. And Rocco is in the lead. Denso in P2. But Thijs, what happened to Thijs? Thijs is at the back of the grid. And Thijs already has damage.
Ooh, Pelly spins.
Ooh,
Pelly's out. He's spun into the wall. Is that going to be a safety car? It is a virtual safety car. Oh, and it's absolute carnage in behind. There was a massive pack there among Berra and the rest. It's very tightly packed, and you can see why maybe Ty's got caught up in an incident. He's got left front wing plate damage, so was it possibly maybe he just got shoved left into turn 1, possibly?
I'm not sure. I mean, unfortunately I got a very bad camera angle.
Yes, same.
So I didn't really see the front of the grid, but it seems like Thijs, this is a very bad start.
Unfortunate.
14, but plenty of laps left to go, so
I think as it's now back to green flag running, it's Rocco who leads from Denso, from Jensen in 3rd, Hiddy's in 4th, his teammate sadly having a collision. I think that's Sparkling, who's actually made up 4 positions, if I'm not wrong, at the start. And now there's a Renault pulling out. I think that's a move on Unseen. Yeah. Goes through the overtake. Unseen, he might have damage, or maybe that's just a position loss. He doesn't have damage. His teammate isn't starting today, which is mad, so he's going to want to get Williams out of the route which they're in. They're bottom of the standings at the moment to Haas, who have 8 points, but ties pits. And Rocco leads. All single file at the moment. I think.
As you said, it can be very difficult to overtake around here. Especially if you try to stay down and don't want to get offline, because you might just lose your car entirely and go into the wall.
What do you think Zero should do, T-Hawk, who's in 11th on the hards? Do you think he should go for moves, or do you think he should just try and stick in the DRS? What would you do?
For now, I think he should just stay in the DRS, try to get his tires up to temperature. Of course, as you and me both know from our practice, the hards can take a lot of time heating up.
Talking of Zero, Berra's going for a move on Unseen. I think Unseen might, maybe, I don't know, maybe he's got the wrong setup on or something, because Berra's, Unseen, I should say, is usually fairly fast and up there. A Zero on the hards, he's pressurizing him.
No, I mean, those softs, they do tend to overheat very quickly, but the track should be cool enough. Maybe he just doesn't have the overall confidence in this car in those conditions.
Yeah. As I just realised, I think that's Bullboy's dropped off the back of Name Changer. I think that's just Bullboy being a bit slow. I don't think he has damage, but yeah, I think Bullboy will especially be hoping more than anyone for penalties in a safety car jam-packed race, as we saw with some drivers last night. With the amount of safety cars, you can get a really good result, even if you don't have the raw pace. As it's Rocco
is about to hold up a train now, so it's Rocco in the lead.
starting to have a gap form now. I think Pettervol looks like he's going to lose DRS on his teammate, so I think Tyne is getting away as Zero makes a move down the inside. I think that was unseen. Name changer. The fellow Finn of Zero is going to try and go around the outside of the first banked corner. So difficult to overtake, especially in a second sector as well, so this is going to be tough for him to make a move here. As Rocco, and now DRS is enabled, of course, so Denzo is going to fancy an overtake maybe.
He's still in DRS. Hidi is just dropping out, so those top 3 slowly starting to pull away.
But he's got DRS, so that's critical.
Yeah, just about. But I think he'll be...
Ooh, locks up. Yeah. Makes a mistake. Ooh, he's coming under pressure now after that mistake from Sparkling. As Unseen gets overtaken by Name Change, so Unseen's got some difficulties as well, it seems. Well, that rhymes. Yeah. Sparkling, I don't think Hiddy has DRS. He's going to breeze past him quite comfortably around the outside. Now Sparkling, he's known for bridging gaps. I think he'll probably be able to get into DRS maybe in a couple laps. He's definitely got the ERS to join this trio. So we'll see.
Especially if those 3 in front of him start fighting.
Yeah. Just realised Jensen's on quite low ERS. A lot of drivers who maybe you'd assume as fairly fast are starting to drop off, like Jensen and Unseen. Maybe possibly they went for a wet setup to get track position in quali possibly, but to be fair that wouldn't make sense actually, because it was obviously dry near the end, so maybe Jensen just doesn't have the raw speed of Denso and Rocco.
Well, I mean, so far he's keeping up. I mean, the dirty air probably is affecting him too through the fast right-handers in sectors 1 and 2, so that might just be costing him. But he's Sparkling still 1.5 seconds back, so he's probably wishing to get out of a DRS window from Hiddy, and for those front runners to battle against each other.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's beginning to look like an esports race. Everything's in single file at the moment, which means I guess strategy becomes even more important. So that might maybe benefit the hard runners, especially Zero, who's, if you think about it, he's only 9/10 off 8th and only basically 3 seconds off 7th. So if he can make the softs work near the end, he's got every chance of getting up into possibly 5th or even better in the podium. But that might be a stretch.
Yeah, definitely. Now he has to find a way through this traffic ahead of him. I mean, at lap 6, the mediums are definitely faster than the softs after 6 laps. Don't know if it's the same for the hards. He does seem to have the pace right now. So does Name Changer right behind him, catching up.
God, just looking at Rocco at the front, he's got nearly 100% ERS with Denzo, who's struggling with 50, and Jensen, who's got 30. So Jensen really is struggling as Denzo's right on the back of Rocco, but Rocco really playing this very, I guess he, not defensively, but conservatively, as Barra actually shapes for a move round the outside into turn 2. Brookie backs off. Is that Brookie with a penalty already? I think it might be.
Oh yeah, it might be. Yeah, 3 seconds for him, so I know it's usually quite difficult to get a penalty around here, so that might cost him.
Yeah. Just looking maybe at positions gained, seeing who's gained the most positions at the start. Ah, yeah, Sparkling as expected. I think down in 9th, he's definitely made the most of his pace and good start as Zero gets past Brookie there. But yeah, Sparkling's made up 5 positions in 4th. The biggest loser is Ties, but I think Ties is catching up to Bullboy as you would expect. Ties 5th in quali, I think it was. So he's going to want to... I think Ties will be hoping for a safety car, wouldn't he, to York?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, unless something big happens in front of him, he will pretty much be out of his race because he does have to pit again, surely. And yeah, if there ain't no safety car or some drastic change in the weather conditions, won't have much chances.
Yeah, the soft runners we would expect to pit about lap 12. I think that's the optimal time. So, as for Sparkling, it is becoming a 3-horse race out front with Rocco seemingly having it all under control. He seems to really be having a dominant drive like maybe a Phantom or Montana, I dare say, in the years gone by. But Denzo, he seems to be just latching with that DRS onto Rocco. I don't think he'd want to make a route move because Sparkling, they're pulling away from a pack which Sparkling's leading. It was, I think, 1.5 seconds a couple laps ago, and it's now 2 seconds, so that's just the power of DRS for you.
I think that second pack of Sparkling, Hiddy and Time, they might actually be in a good spot to maybe try an undercut in the front runners by 1 or 2 laps. Because they are only 2 seconds off, so maybe they could force the top 3 into some kind of strategic mess.
Yeah.
As name changer seemingly is not as fast on the hards as Zavos, I just noticed, and is very low on ERS too.
Yeah, he does seem to expend his ERS quite a lot, and if you look at Brookie ahead of him, he's actually got a lot more ERS than him, so I think name changes just, as he's probably used to in esports challenges, just getting caught up in, as we know it as a DRS train, which is very difficult to overtake when a car's ahead if you have DRS.
But actually the other hard runner, or the top hard runner, Zavo, only on 18% too, so both of them seemingly spending a lot of energy to try and keep up with those softs in the early stages.
He almost punted Barra through the Vodafone backed, or however you pronounce it. So Zero really trying to force Barra into a mistake. His name changer eventually gets past Brookie. I think that might have been a mistake by him. But it's actually becoming, if you look from Petterville, who's dropped off, it's almost a 3-horse race as Barra goes for a move in 8th. Trying to go down the inside of turn 1.
The inside doesn't work there. I think the outside is a better spot for turn 1.
He caught me off guard there. Definitely faked, I think, the outside move and just cut down to the inside of Danny Ricciardo-esque move, but didn't work this time. Of course, in the McLaren with Daniel Ricciardo next season.
Sparkling is still losing out on the top 3 runners. I think.
Yeah,
he will maybe attempt the undercut, maybe this lap, maybe next lap.
Yeah.
Just to see what happens, as time is very close to hit it too. But can't do much about it.
I was just gonna say, it's quite funny, there's the front 3, the trio of Rocco, Denzo and Jensen who are out front there, then you got Sparkling, Hiddy and Tyne, so you got 2 groups of 3. Almost like a, I don't know, cycling match where you just got packs at the moment, with obviously the 4th, or 3rd pack I should say, is Petterville, Barra, Zero, name changer, now Brookie starting to drop off. I think he might have damage, or maybe not, but and Unseen.
Was open.
Unseen pits now, so he's going to be the first to pull the trigger. Of course, in a Williams.
I think now a lot of guys will start pushing.
Yeah. The Brit's going to come in, and he's gonna. Is he going to come out ahead of Ties? Ties is pitted here, so. Ties is too far back. I think if Ties didn't have that damage, he would be up there, but.
Those are the 5 seconds that he's missing.
And also, he's going to have to make another stop unless there's the safety car, so. Poor Ties is going to. Yeah, still 26 or 5 laps, depending how you look at it.
Let's see, will any of the leaders pit? Will anyone in the top 3 try the undercut on each other?
The Rocco, is he gonna?
Rocco isn't the
I don't think Rocco would, because if you look at his ERS, I think he'd stay out an extra lap for the fresher tyres near the end and just use all his ERS, it seems as though. Rocco
Sparkling is trying the undercut.
Ooh, Sparkling. As well as, who's that? Petterville. Yeah, Petterville seemed to be struggling in a Ferrari, which is probably a little bit annoying for his sake, because I think Zero, who's on the hards, was all over the back of him, which is something you never want a hard runner to be on the back of you when you're on the softs. But he's going to hope he'll do the undercut on the likes of Berra, and I don't think Tyne, because I think Tyne's a little bit further ahead of Zero. Look at Zero, how close he is into Berra. He's almost pushing him.
Almost pushing him through the corners, yeah.
Yeah. And he's got his fellow Finn as well. Name changes, there's a rev glitch. Ooh, name change, very close. These guys are
Apex there, because of the dirty air.
They race a lot in FRL HOR, so they know probably how each other drive, so they're definitely going to want to exploit that. And they'll be doing that for another 20 laps, or 25 probably laps, as they're on the hards. There's Rocco and Jensen pit.
Good, Denzel trying to stay out.
I'm not sure why Rocco would pit with 100% ERS, that was a bit of a waste. Could have maybe gained
maybe he's trying to push now on the hards, but he shouldn't do that because those hards still need to get up to temperature. As let's see the sparkling is going to filter out.
How long would you say those hards to get up to temperature? How long would that take, probably?
I'd say about 3 laps at least, until you can really start pushing it.
Well, we'll see if Denzo performs the overcut. I think I saw there maybe glimpsed that he's doing a PB so far, so possibly.
And Zero got ahead of Berra, I think he's missed that.
Ooh, Brookie.
Name change out of the back of Berra.
Brookie, I was just thinking, Brookie might want to play some team tactics here, although he's dropping right off the back of Rocco. I think if Brookie uses all his ERS here, he might have a shot at overtaking Rocco, holding him up for Denzo, but I think the chance is gone as Jensen's going to use all his ERS. He's going to dive it down the inside of the Audi S. That is a nice, simple move for Jensen as Unseen gets past Bullboy. These guys have a history. He's using all his ERS, Bullboy. He's going to have the inside, and Unseen's going to have to wait patiently for another lap as Zero takes the race lead as Berra, and is that Name Changer? Name Changer makes the move down the inside. But is that Denzo? Denzo is going to come out ahead of Rocco.
So close, and he did it.
How has Denzo done that? That is... I think that is just showing Rocco maybe should have gone out the extra lap and used all his ERS, because even though he's used it now, I think he could have maybe been that couple of tenths, which would have been critical in him being ahead, but
yeah.
When they catch up to the likes of, well, Name Change it'll be, because Barry will pit soon, I think that might be a bit critical, as Denzo will be the first one to overtake them and Rocco might get left behind, but we'll see, we'll see.
But then again, remember, we didn't see a lot of battling between the top 6 pretty much, so they might have just been saving their tires, trying to strike in that one lap into the pits, and that seemingly worked for Denzo.
Yeah, it was, oh, Rocco uses all his overtake here, just on the banking. I think Rocco had 100% and he was leading, so you could take that a couple of ways. Maybe that he was faster than Denzo, or maybe Denzo wasn't pressuring him enough, but we'll see hopefully if Denzo will be able to maybe use none of his ERS at all and be able to stay ahead of Rocco, because maybe that's just the nature of Zandvoort, is you can just use none of your ERS and still stay ahead of the other car, but we'll see, we'll see.
It's interesting, the overcut worked out for Denzo by a few tenths, the undercut worked out for Sparkling, because he's now about half a second closer to Jensen than he was before, and those guys battling in front of him and being held up by Berre and 2 Finns. Yeah. Sparkling could make it a 4-way fight.
Now this is going to be critical here, but oh, Denzo doesn't get past. Now that is, I think, maybe NSX tactics I could possibly say, because if Denzo got past Barra there, I think Denzo might have been able to pull away possibly. Ooh, am I seeing rain, or are my eyes deceiving me? Because this could be very exciting if we do see rain. And it'd make more sense. It makes sense as well, because Barra was trying to extend, but
Wacko, around the outside of Denzo.
Oh, I missed that. Yes. Oh, it's Jensen. Jensen's. I forgot about him. He's obviously still in third, provisional third, if you discount the two Finns out front. But yes, at the moment.
I think both. Yeah, we're both Finns out front now have the best, best chances and the best tires too, because
if it
their
is raining,
hearts,
yeah.
yeah, their hearts are up to temperature now. They do have the grip.
Yeah, it's
Whereas
raining.
the others maybe still need to get them up to grip. Is the rain gonna get any heavier, or is it just gonna stay
Yep.
qualifying?
I'm not sure if the stream can see this or am I just blind, but I definitely think I saw raindrops at some of the corners.
You
Now
can see
this
one
is
or two
really
raindrops on the lens.
gonna help out the two Finns, Bottas and Raikkonen. Definitely, they're gonna be hoping the rain comes as soon as possible because Rocco, it obviously rained in China and Rocco won, and it's so difficult to overtake in the rain around here unless there's a mistake. So Rocco is gonna surely be absolutely pedal to the metal to catch up these two.
Yeah. But then again, he has to watch out for those tires. His tires, I know if they are up to temperature yet.
Oh,
But he has the
Brookie.
confidence in them yet after 3
Brookie down
laps.
the inside. Oh, he goes deep. Oh, but is he gonna keep it?
Back.
You can see on his onboard, I think, there's rain. Yep, definitely.
Yeah.
And he gets past Bullboy. That's a clean overtake.
As
Sparkling.
Name changer, I think, is pulling away. Yeah, name changer is pulling away from Rocco. So, yeah, as I said, those hearts working out. Sparkling now gaining on the top 3 or the top 5 now.
Sparkling, actually, he's starting to catch up. I was just gonna say he pulled away from Hiddy and Tyne, who were using his DRS and he was kind of pulling them all along quite nicely. But Sparkling, could he maybe, do you think, T-Hawk, be I don't know, a little spanner into the works of the top 3 or top 5? It might be now with the rain.
I think so. I mean, seemingly some guys have gone for more of a wet setup. Maybe also the likes of Unseen, who was struggling early on, if you remember.
Ooh, Pelly. Sorry, Brookie.
Oh yeah, Brookie getting past Ties around the outside.
Ties isn't gonna... Oh, Ties does just let him through. I think it'd ruin his race, Ties, if he did go for a move, as it's halfway. So, half the race distance, a quarter of real life, but... What were we saying there about Sparkling?
Yeah, Sparkling, he might be on a setup that suits those tricky intermediate to wet conditions more, similar to Unseen, who was struggling early on. Maybe Peter Wall too. You could see a lot of changes in the second half of the race, as Name Changer is only half a second behind Zero, battling for the net lead, but completely out of ERS, both of them.
Look at Name Changer, maybe that was on my screen, but he used all his ERS down the main straight.
Both of them completely dry on energy. I mean, even Rocco is pushing now on 40%.
So is Denso. I think Denso's always pushing, to be fair. He's always been on the back of Rocco. But yeah, I think Name Changer and Zero, they've played this to perfection now. Probably in the same party, but if this strategy does pull off for them, they have definitely done the masterclass, because the further it goes along, even if Rocco does start to gain on them, it'll become more and more difficult for Rocco to gain the time and overtake them. I wonder what Jeff would be saying right now about the weather.
I think he would be saying, well, the conditions are tricky, but we think the slicks are still the right tire, which means just suck it up and deal with it.
Yeah. As we saw yesterday, it's better to do sometimes nothing than more, as with Ed Sachs and Michael Van Doren just staying out on the inters. As it seems, actually, thinking about it, to be the complete opposite of last night, as well in quali, with it actually getting faster with rain at the end, so it's complete opposite of F2 this race, which makes an interesting twist.
And it also looks like Rocco has finally fired up his tires.
Pettervol.
Around a second in the last 2 laps, Pettervol trying to defend,
sad,
they were almost losing it.
Yeah, it's a shame for the two Ferraris. They've definitely lost out a couple of positions there. At the moment,
Yeah.
5th in the standings, which isn't too bad compared to last season, where I think Bullboy and I don't know who the other one was, but I think they finished quite low. But always nice to see the Ferraris being quite high up, but they're sadly a little bit struggling. Maybe a poor strategy choice by both of them. Maybe they should have gone outside the top 10 and started on hards. I mean, if that was the case, maybe Bullboy could have been up there. I think that happened in China. He could have. I think it rained near the end and Rocco got the win, but we'll see, we'll see. Do you think it will start to rain? Should we do a rain prediction of what lap will rain? You can obviously post it in the comments as well. So
if I'm looking on the onboards, it doesn't rain a lot, so I think maybe the last 8 laps or so could be intermediate conditions, maybe just the last 5 laps, but it might even come to a point where you gotta consider
all tyres.
gain the time on the intermediates, as tyres is going down the inside of the little
These two are having a tasty battle at the moment. Both in the constructors, drivers haven't scored any points, but Brookie, I think Brookie, he's out! That's going to be a virtual safety car, not a full safety car. I think if that was a couple of meters closer to that inside curb, it would have been definitely a full course safety car. Now, does that mean... I don't think that does anything, does it, T-Hawk?
I don't know, I mean, I think I wouldn't risk it if I was Zero or Name Changer. You know, they're still 3 seconds in the lead. Still looking decent on the old hards, so should be alright.
Oh, Name Changer, he's pitting! Has he got damage, or...?
I don't think he does.
Is it for the inters?
Soft.
So he clearly doesn't... Wait, DRS is enabled now, so... Was it not enabled before? Oh, this is very confusing.
It is very confusing. I know, I think it's just enabled because the VSC ended. That's right.
Ah, okay. So clearly Name Changer just decided it's not going to get any heavier, the rain.
And actually, as you say that, I think it is just getting heavier right now, so this decision by Name Changer might have cost him, but I don't know.
It'd be very un-Mercedes-like, I think, to bottle a strategy of a possible podium there. But I think we'll see with Zero, the Iceman himself, can he possibly do a strategic masterclass here? He hasn't won in F1, I don't think, but I say that and I usually get these facts wrong, like I said with Rocco winning in China, or Bahrain I think it was, but this could, I say could, be a win for Zero if he can just do the rain dance in his cockpit and maybe he'll get some luck, but yes, we'll see.
I mean, if Name Changer can go get those tires fired up, which it looks like he can, because he just puts the fastest second and third sector. If you can get those tires up to temperature, he should be able to catch up to the top 5 again rather quickly, and maybe even go to the end, so
yeah.
If it stays like that, he might even have the best tires.
I think, just looking at the deltas, maybe it was because of the cold tires from a virtual safety car, but it does seem to be getting a little bit slower, which does infer there's rain, but as Bullboy takes tyres, as tyres also thinks it's not gonna get any wetter yet, but yeah, just going on the onboards, it does seem to be dribbles of rain, but it's really touch and go. I think the drivers will know more than we do. I don't think it will be wet at the end, it'll probably be just light rain intermediates. Zero doesn't pit, he stays out.
Then you can't see it at Name Changer because Name Changer is currently setting purple in all 3 sectors.
Yeah. Oh, Name Changer is actually... So there's a new train now from 6th, which is led by Hiddy. Always checking the front wing of every car just to make sure no one has damage, because it's very easy to pick up damage at this track with a spin or something, but all the drivers being very well behaved. Obviously there was there's been no penalties except for Brookie, who crashed out sadly, but we'll see.
Name changer struggling to find a way
Ooh,
past.
that's an ambitious
go down
move.
the inside. Oh, no, so close.
I think Tyne rightfully closed the door. I think that's not an overtaking opportunity, but there's so many. When you've got the tyre advantage, you could definitely into here if he gets a good run. Yeah, I think this DRS train, especially with his ERS, it's going to be really tough for Name Changer now. We'll see by the end of the race if it was the right call, but out front, Zero, who decided to stay out, is being reeled in by Rocco now. The gap was 3 seconds, and now it's 1.4 as Bullboy gets overtaken by Ties. Ties is in 12th. Possibly, maybe he could score points if there's a couple more DNFs, but it doesn't. Ooh, Tyne.
As Name Changer and Tyne, Name Changer finally gets past, but...
Yeah, Tyne is using all his overtake. He's not going to give it up, and he's going to crash out, is he? Well, he's going to get damage. I think these two have a bit of a rivalry, and that's shown there with Tyne. Did the Name Changer get any damage? He probably didn't.
No, I don't think he did, but I think Name Changer just was too far to the left-hand side of the track and had no grip off the racing line and just went to the right.
I'd imagine it looks like yellow. I'd have a guess to say right wing end plate damage, but not the end of the world for Tyne. But there's still a lot of laps left. I don't see the point. Ooh, a Zero pits. Well, that's his chances gone, and that might be the win for Rocco, I dare say, but I might have just jinxed it. But
softs for Zero. Ooh, God.
This is definitely gonna be interesting to see in a race when we see the results, if it has been the right decision. I was thinking about it. Ties might get 11th now if Tyne is slipping down the field. I think Unseen's going to overtake him. The battling obviously going to help Ties, so it'd be nice to see Ties score his first point.
More parts of his front wing left side damage too.
That's definitely surely going to pit, because I think Ties is going to definitely overtake him. So Ties, I keep going on about him, but he hasn't scored a point this season. It'd be great to see him score a point.
Time's off.
His first in F1, and that is a virtual safety
Turn out
car.
and a VC. Ooh.
Was that at the same corner he crashed with Name Changer?
No, that was just 2 corners later, the fast right-hander downhill.
Oh, I see him in the background. Wow. Maybe... How did he... He must have got a massive snap of oversteer for that to happen.
Or
is any of the front guys in the pit?
His damage. Front guys are not pitting.
If Zero stayed out, maybe... I think if Zero stayed out 1 lap longer, that would have been perfect for him, so... Well, I say perfect, so he might have filtered out maybe ahead of Hideo Name Changer. Possibly, but...
Could be.
Yeah.
Name Changer could still be on for podium, maybe.
Yeah. Oh, Jensen! Maybe that virtual safety car restart wasn't good enough for him. He's really low on ERS. And he's dropped out of DRS, if there is DRS. I think there is DRS. Oh, there is, yeah.
Jensen's been dropping out the last couple of laps, so he
has he got it? No, he hasn't. He misses out, but...
Temperatures up.
Jensen's definitely improved on last season. He's definitely a lot more consistent and always fighting for the win, but this is going to be a kick in the teeth for him. Although it still looks as if it's going to be a podium unless Name Changer makes some massive progress. I think... he does get DRS though, so...
Good.
He's surviving, but he's run out of ERS, so... We're going to see that delta just shoot up, and he's lost about 2/10. So, yeah. It looks like Denzo and Rocco have the pace as well. Rocco, once again, got a full battery now, so... What would you do if you were Rocco, T-Hawk, with your battery or pushing and stuff?
Probably just doing what he's doing right now, because I mean, it is difficult enough to overtake in the middle of the track, especially on hards, especially in those conditions. So he only really has to deploy it probably down the main straight.
Yeah. Well, it does seem as though with Rocco that, I dare say the job is done, but a late safety car, if, I don't know, maybe Unseen or any of them, I shouldn't say just Unseen, I'm sure Unseen's not going to crash, but I do think a safety car could spice it up, but even a safety car, I'm not sure that would really, because of the difficulty of overtaking and the conditions, how slippery they are, I don't think that'd really help Denso much, would it?
Anything can happen. I mean, both those, or all three of those top runners could make a mistake, especially when they're battling each other, as name changes now in DRS of Sparkling, and Jensen also caught back up to Denso and Rocco. But yeah, those front runners could battle and go off potentially.
Oh, Zero on the back of Hiddy.
Anything can happen. Zero, as I said, on the back of Hiddy.
He's
able to do anything here.
Yeah, he's trying to mirror the progress of Name Changer. Name Changer pitted 4 laps earlier than Zero, and he's about 5 seconds ahead. So maybe Zero just pitted at the wrong point, but the rain is very deceiving at the moment. It's not pelting it down for Inters, but it isn't clear as day to be sure that DRS won't be disabled, but we'll see.
I think at some parts of the lap, like around turn 8, just where the first sector ends,
yeah,
it looks like it's raining quite heavy there, and then for the rest of the lap it doesn't look that bad, so... Ooh, as Name Changer has to correct his car a bit out of the final corner.
Oh, he's just running out of ERS, isn't he? I don't think this is very efficient from Name Changer. Oh, a Zero. Zero's going to try and challenge it round the outside. These two have a history in F3, but they're going to go side by side and into the banking. Zero's going to try and go round outside of the banking as he just gives Hiddy a love tap, but he's going to get on the...
what a good exit.
Switch. Now, are they going to collide like Name Changer and Tyne? Hiddy's going to have the inside.
Not yet. Hiddy done the inside. Oh, and contact.
Oh, Hiddy gets spun out. But he's kept
but
it.
only half spin, so still decent enough, as Name Changer just lost 2 seconds to Sparkling. Did he make a mistake?
I saw that. As I do say that, Name Unseen, I didn't mean to jinx it, but I have. And Ties, who was, I think, down by 15 seconds. I did put him in my top 3. I don't think he'll come 3rd, but it's nice to see him, if he can just keep it together. Score his first points in F1, I think it'll be, unless he's reserved and scored points. But yeah, that is good for him. And to be fair, he's actually going to start to reel in Pettervol. I'm not sure if it'll be enough. He'll have to do it by 1.5 seconds, I'd say, per lap. But it'll be a difficult task. Oh, Denso. He's switching on the overtake up into the right-hander. It's just not an overtaking opportunity, this.
Rocco knows it. Rocco knows he can't get past there, doesn't even bother putting up his ERS.
Still has 80%, so starting to use more, but so's Denso, who I think was on 60, and...
A very good management from both those guys, while Jensen is just spending everything to try and keep up with those 2 guys at the front.
The Chilean in second at the moment. Is he going to get his first win? I think he'll be in FRL altogether, because I don't think he raced last season or got a win last season. Only got the 2 thirds.
I don't think he got a win.
As Unseen pits and Bullboy. Bullboy's not going to get the wooden spoon, but he is going to get 11th. It does seem, as Rocco was very close to that curb there, which is, I think, one of the, I would say, the most dangerous curb on the track. So easy to spin out there. That's Zero.
Just tires are starting to give up. Zero is closing up to him now.
They've both got no ERS, and they're both on the back of Sparkling, who's got a lot more ERS. So name changer seems to just be pushing a bit too much, possibly.
Yeah, he's just trying to get, well, probably just to get P4, getting the DRS, be able to defend from 0 too.
Yeah.
He's very careful.
And Denzo's using always ERS here. We do talk about ERS a lot, but that is just the nature of this track. ERS is very important because obviously down the start-finish line, that's your only overtaking opportunity. As we'll see with Denzo, you do need like a good 40% or 50% battery to have a good go at the car ahead.
Talking about having a go, name changer now, back up to 3/10 behind Sparkling. Uses overtake, but can't get me anymore.
Yep. And Unseen, as he just pits there, he's now on the back of Bullboy, so fighting over the wooden or metal spoon. I think Unseen should be able to get ahead of Bullboy, as Bullboy's a bit all over the place. As name changer, almost pushing Sparkling.
So
he does like to apparently in this race go for a little bit ambitious moves, as he's always right near the car in the second sector. Let's look at Zero. Zero on the freshest tyres out of all these three, on a soft no less. He's not got enough ERS though. His name changer, this is going to be a risky move, and he can't make it stick. Sparkling just so as you can have that corner. As Unseen gets past Bullboy. I think Bullboy's going to go for fastest lap.
And Denzel might be going for it now.
Rocco's got more ERS though. Yeah, and Denzo's ERS is gone, so Denzo might have just passed the trophy over there to Rocco with 3 laps to go.
Name changer. He just absolutely sent one down the inside of Sparkling.
And is Hiddy going to get ahead? He is. Is Berra going to get ahead?
Yes.
Berra's, I think, a bit too far back, but Hiddy's going to get sixth. But look at Zero. Zero's going to try and avenge his finish, mate. Is he going to go for a move that's risky? Ooh, this is round the outside of... Can't remember the corner name.
No.
In the Marlboro box corner, if I've said that right. Ooh, he's not touching Sparkling, but he's all over his gearbox. Sparkling must be really nervous at the moment. It is only for 4th, but... Ooh. Zero, is it going to go around the outside? He does give Sparkling the squeeze. Wheel banging as well, but... I think that's fair.
Again.
And now, Name Changer, who was in 5th originally, is now dropped to 8th. So, possibly, even Tyson Petterville might be licking their lips up and an opportunity of 8th and 9th. But the 2 Alfa Romeos are in 3rd and 4th, and is Zero going to keep 4th? He's getting squiggly.
Can you do it?
Through the banking.
Just enough space. Zero's still there.
Yeah, Sparkling giving just enough room, but there's not much room there.
Touch.
This is brilliant racing from these two, but just don't spin out. Zero might be getting a little bit impatient here. I would be as well if I was seeing the rear of that Red Bull for a good 5 laps. As the front guys, Rocco still got loads of battery, so it doesn't seem to have any change there. Could possibly Jensen maybe forge a comeback and maybe get Denzo on this last lap, but...
I know, I think best chance for Jensen now is that the 2 guys ahead of him collide.
And Denzo is going to use always the ERS. He's actually got a good run here on Rocco. He doesn't have the ERS though, and he's not even going to use overtake. He's going to bide his time. It is the last lap. He's still got a good 4 or 3 kilometers left of the race.
There's one more opportunity.
Oh, Zero!
As now Sparkling.
Oh, Zero goes off, and Sparkling goes off. Is that Hiddy? Is Hiddy going to get 4th? No, they're not. But Zero and Sparkling, they rejoin. Maybe Zero let Sparkling through there, but I didn't see what happened particularly well.
I think Zero tried to overtake around the outside, and I don't know if it was Sparkling going too deep on the inside, or Zero just cutting him off. But we're still in 4th and 5th, hitting now right behind him on 22 lap old tires. And then so now with his final opportunity, he's gaining on Rocco, he's actually gaining, is he gonna send it?
I think that would be a bit too risky. Ooh, and Zero, this is his last opportunity, and he's gonna just give Sparkling a tap, but it does seem, I think, coming round the last corner, the banking of the last corner, Rocco is gonna win.
Sparkling, what are you doing?
Well, Sparkling's going off, but Rocco is gonna win for 2 races in a row. He's gonna take the Dutch Grand Prix flag, as I mess up my words, but Denzo's going to come home in seconds. Jensen's going to get third. Ooh, 15 thousandths separated the front two. Brilliant racing from these two. They were inseparable, quite literally, the whole race. Brilliant racing from the NSX driver of Rocco and Denzo. Hiddy gets a strong 4th, keeps his position from where he started. Very solid race from him. I don't think Hiddy could have asked for any more, except for a safety car, but Sparkling and Zero, they came to blows there in 5th and 6th. Barra finishes 7th, a strong showing from him. A different strategy actually on the mediums, I didn't see that before. And that name changes crashed on the start-finish line with the Ferrari and down the main straight. Yeah, but so name changes is in 8th, Pettervol in the Ferrari in 9th, and Ties has scored a point from, even though starting 5th, I think that is very good for his standards, definitely. He'll definitely just want to keep the point scoring streak going. As would you have given name change a drive of the day, T-Hawk?
Well, I would have if he could have been able to finish on the podium or maybe even P4, but yeah, I think he just got a bit too impatient at the end.
As Rocco's going to take home the trophy of the Dutch Grand Prix, winning twice in a row, and that's 3 and 5 now for the Brit. And I believe he will, I think, lead the standings now, believe it or not. Obviously, Sparkling, who was in 2nd, I think is going to lose out to Jensen, who I think will take who will keep 2nd place. Hiddy in 5th in the standings, he'll also make some gains over Name Changer and Sparkling, I think, as well. But yeah, T-Hawk, do you want to do the drivers' official race results?
So we have Rocco winning the race by 15 thousandths out of Denso, so it was quite close at the finish. Jensen in P3, Hiddy in P4 after Sparkling absolutely torpedoed Zero into the Audi S. Barry in P7, Name Changer in P8. Unfortunate for him, he could have been P4 today. Peterval P9. Thijs lost out at the start, managed to gather up to P10 to get his first point of the season. Followed by Unseen and Ballboy. And Tiny Little Bookie and Kelly retired.
Oh, I missed the the full standings, but for Jensen, but hopefully he'll manage to catch that himself. But I think for me, driver of the day would probably be Ties. I think he had a very good race. Despite obviously having a first lap incident, it was a good comeback. But I think Rocco as well, obviously, is the driver up there as well. As T-Hawk, will you be joining me for the post-race interviews?
Yeah, sure.
Cool. So as we will change parties. Oh no, there's the post F1 race interviews, I think. As we have joined the new party. As we just wait for the drivers to join, just see who's in the party. Second in the party.
Oh, Jensen, P3. Exactly same position where you started. I don't know if you've made any overtake for positions in that race, except for maybe getting past cars that were on a different strategy. You were very close to the top 2 though, so yeah, how come you couldn't attack those 2 up front?
I didn't have the pace. I probably had the pace when it was fully dry, but when it started raining, those guys were just rapid, and I was just derating every time, and I just couldn't. Like, I could keep up with them very easily, but getting close to them is a bit of a second sight, you know. But still, P3, not too disappointed with that.
Of course, also with the wet conditions in qualifying and more importantly in the second half of the race, how come that you didn't pit Fuentes? Did you just think that it wouldn't pay out, or did you think that you want to react to something else?
I saw this. I saw it in the race strategy that it was just gonna stay dry all the race. I didn't know it was gonna rain, but seeing that, I was certain that it would stay dry for track conditions at least. So I wasn't really worried about it.
Okay then. So next week it's gonna be Spain for round 6. Quite a decent track for battling, I suppose, at least on the game, not in real life. So how do you think you perform around there?
I got good race pace around there. Just wait and see, I guess, and just do the same as usual. Yeah.
Alright then. Congratulations on P3 today and best of luck for next week.
Cheers for commentating as well.
You're welcome.
As we move on, who's second in a party? Zero, did he say? Ah, Zero. Zero, you there?
Yep.
You haven't been interviewed in a while, but it was I'd say a mixed race bag for you, but do you want first of all to take us through quali and how that went for you? It was an interesting strategy with the mediums, to say the least.
Yeah, my plan was to start outside of the top 10 and just stick on the hards with prior knowledge from last week. To know that I can take those hards for extremely long time, and I know that I had a great pace on them, so decided to see if I could make it happen again, and then the rain started to come down, so I was just hoping that it would get heavy enough, but it wasn't meant to be, I guess.
Yeah, it was obviously a race that seemed to be getting wetter, but just not enough for strategy, which obviously would have probably got you the win if it came at the right time, but you ended up obviously pitting and having a pretty lengthy battle with Sparkling, but quite an aggressive one as well. How did you feel the soft stint went, and any comments on the end of the race?
Well, the soft stint, it went pretty much like I was hoping it to. I had great pace. I was catching the cars ahead by a lot, and just tried to look after them, and not obviously when it was getting heavier and heavier, I was thinking that it was maybe the wrong time to go for them. But obviously it wasn't meant to be that P4 getting spun around in the last couple of turns. It was going all well up until that point, and yeah, annoying. Can't understand why, if it's getting harder to brake, why people don't brake earlier, but I guess some people just don't understand it.
Well, I think it is still 6th, which is a fairly strong result. Obviously, coming into Spain, last race you did DNF, so you started to keep the point streak now. Do you think you'll continue the high point streak and maybe improve to the top 5 possibly in Spain?
Nope.
Okay. Well, good luck next week in Spain, in Catalonia. We'll hope to see you up there in the high scoring positions. As T-Hawk, do you want to interview whoever's next in the party?
Let's see, next up should be Mr. Name Changer, who I think finished in P8. Name Changer.
Go on.
You were my pick for the win. So, you meant to do it in Australia, so I figured why not. But yeah, you did seem to have a very good strategy, starting on the hards, and when it started raining, we thought you might pit for Inters and still come out in the lead. But yeah, when you pitted for softs, we saw that the podium was probably not.
So, didn't want to give up the fight even though he was behind, so that's always cool. So yeah, that's it. Then again with Sparkling, he also was so aggressive and just pushed me off, so that's also cool. Then I just then I got to didn't pay attention and spun off, and that was basically it. So shit race, shit track, shit day. That's about it.
Well, but still, if you wouldn't have spin or that crash in qualifying, you probably would have had the pace to challenge for the win today. So yeah, just unfortunate. But next week in Spain, do you think it's going to be good, or is it going to be Spain without VS?
Well, at least 2019 I won in Spain, so I don't know. I think it could all go to shit as usual, but we'll see. Time will tell.
Just stay optimistic. Yeah, still, I suppose congratulations on today. Thanks for racing and better luck next week.
I hope.
Has it Bullboy or Pelly? Isn't it Bullboy who's next?
Bullboy.
Yeah.
Bullboy. Well, you qualified unlucky 13th, and it was a fairly, boring, to put it blandly, race for you, I'd say. But do you want to take us through it to see how the Bullboy experience was throughout the race and quali?
Well, the race started, and then it just finished, so nothing. Honestly, it was so. Yeah, I was just hoping for a safety car, and it never came. So even then, though, it's hardly anyone got any penalties. I think so. It wouldn't have mattered anyway. But no, me and Pelly had a bin. I think he crashed. Maybe we were side by side through, I think, turn 3 or something. So yeah, that was unfortunate. Battles with ties unseen as well, because when they pitted and I just stayed out, so they were a whole pit stop in front of me. But yeah, apart from that, yeah, the weather wasn't great, but not enough to go onto Inters and make people crash. Although some people crashed, but I went from 13th to 12th, not in the points. So yeah, never mind.
Well, the last 3 races you could say are an improvement. You came 13th, 13th, and 14th in Bahrain, Vietnam, and China. Now you're coming 12th. So, do you think you could get your very popular 11th, or even sneak a point there to break the duck of points?
I hope so. I think I'm looking at maybe Monaco, because yeah, it's Monaco. And then Canada. Canada's the number one, because I know loads of people get penalties. So if there's a chance, it's got to be maybe not next race. I think maybe like 2 races time.
Well, we wish you the best of luck in Barcelona, Spain, and thanks for racing today.
Yep, thanks for the stream as always.
No problem. And T-Hawk, I think Pelly next, isn't it?
Yeah, Pelly, I think is gonna be our last driver. I think he retired. I don't know which lap, but it was pretty early on, I think. So, yeah, not the
I think
best
it
of
was lap
races
1.
he had.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a good start. Like I was already past name changing. I was side by side with Warwick, and then I thought like Thijs was like I think he had some problems, so he was like slow and like so I thought his car was not ghosting, but like so I braked, but in the end his car was the ghosting, so. Like I gave up like 2 positions for free. Then I tried to pass Bowway after like I tried to go side by side through turn 3, and then like my left front like made slightly contact with his car, and then it just made my car spin into the wall, and that was it. And very quickly I.
So yeah, of course, unfortunately, that looks like that happened, but I guess we don't have that much to talk about with your race because it didn't last very long. But going on to next week then, Spain. Do you think you'll be able to survive longer than today?
I don't know. I literally don't know. I hope not. I hope I will just. I hope just that I can finish the race, but you never know with racing.
Well then, best of luck for next week and commiserations on your early retirement today.
Thank you.
And unless there's someone who sneaks into the party late on, I think that's it for the race. And
Yep.
yeah, so, well, thanks for tuning in to FRL F1. So, very good racing and interesting action throughout. And we will see you next week for Spain, 7 o'clock on the 8th of March. So, see you then.